There's blood in the water tonight in Charleston, South Carolina. Not only are the Charleston Predators trying to get to 500, but they're trying to beat a team they've never beaten before. The Queen City Corsairs are in town and are also trying to get a win to remain in playoff contention. It's the first time Queen City has ever visited Charleston, South Carolina. Alongside Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine. We've got our full crew here tonight: Ron Haynes, Rochelle Colston, Jacob Clear, Chris Curtis, and Tyler Falk as well. How you doing, Charles, and what are you looking for tonight?
I'm doing great. I've got, you and I talked about this a little pregame, but I got a weird feeling about tonight's game. I think we're going to see some wild on-the-field action, if you will. Like you said, we've got two teams here that are eager to get a win in the books here. But what I'm most looking forward to is, both of these offensive lines have some great blockers. And people might start falling asleep here. I love the offensive line. They've got some of the best pass blockers and run blockers in the league, and they're really good at keeping both of their quarterbacks clean. I want to see what the defenses do to dial it up and try and put some pressure on the quarterbacks.
We know there was no SFL this week, but there is a Monday Night Spectacular. It's the end of Week 11, and this game means everything to both these teams. The ball's on the tee. Queen City kick it. We are underway from Charleston, South Carolina, 1 yard deep in the end zone. And on the kick return for the Preds, Jonas Adobe gets it out to the 30-yard line. And that's pretty good starting field position for the former Queen City quarterback, John Lakeman, welcoming his old team into his new digs for the first time. Lakeman, Charles, struggling a bit this season with the turnovers. Got to clean it up tonight.
Yeah, especially last week. He's trying to shake off 5 interceptions, and hopefully their offensive line, like last game they did a really good job of protecting him. He had a great game. Maybe we bring good luck to him.
First down and 10 to start the game for the Preds. They'll send Reed in motion. Nobody throws more interceptions than Charleston, but Queen City doesn't do a great job of picking off opponents. Just 11 interceptions on the season, 20th in the SFL. That first pass to Solomon is incomplete as he was tightly defended. Xavier Solomon has been a lethal threat at tight end in recent weeks, Charles, and between him and James Matthew Jr., expect to see a lot of hashtag throw it to the tight end tonight.
Oh, yeah, they're both. And Leon Sandcastle in particular, he's like an extra offensive lineman on the line there. He specializes in run blocking, so if they ever decide to give the ball to the halfback, I'd run on his side.
Second and 10, they'll hand it off to Nick Hoagland, and he's actually going to be dropped for about a half-yard loss. Quickly wrapped up by Alex Marshall, who's been pivotal to this Queen City turnaround, but still at 3-6, trying to get over that hump and back into the playoff picture. This is basically must-win territory tonight. Third down and 11, 4 receivers, 3 by 1. As Lakeman drops to throw off his back foot, that pass is way overthrown, and that is a quick 3-and-out for the Preds, wearing what I would call their blood-in-the-water uniforms tonight. Charles, what do you think of these?
Yeah, those pants are definitely bloody. The quarterback, Lakeman, had to get rid of that ball. They sent a couple extra defenders in there on the blitz, and he just didn't have any time to do anything, just had to save himself from an interception.
I love him. Queen City's in their traditional black, white, black here tonight as that punt goes for a hang time of 4.3. Corralled by Bob Wood as he gets it up to the 37-yard line. So both teams start from outside their own 30 to start this one. Eric Price, the former Las Vegas Fury quarterback, is the quarterback in Queen City. He has thrown and completed more passes than any quarterback in the league this year, Charles, for 2,192 yards.
Yeah, and he's 4th in completion, so he's not he's hitting the receivers when he targets them.
First and 10 at the 37-yard line. Nick will look for Charleston's defense. They'll start with a flip out to Jet Zero, and Jack Brown, the Hall of Fame finalist, quickly able to corral him after a 2-yard gain.
Cam, I think you got to get on the Queen City side. You got to get both Zero and Zoma on in not only runs but also out of the backfield passes.
Zero's got 10 catches. Zoma with a couple. McDowell with 3 this season. Eric Price pump fake, able to get rid of the pressure, and then tried to squeeze it into a tight window to James Matthew Jr. That falls incomplete. 3rd and 8.
Yeah, Pocket was breaking down on that one as well, Cam. I don't know if I've ever seen a quarterback run and do a pump fake to the opposite side of the field like that. That was the first for me, sir.
Well, if he faked you out, probably faked out the whole side of the Charleston defense, which is currently bottled up in some tight man-to-man coverage here on your left side against this bunch. Eric Price on 3rd down and 8, drops to throw, fires into the one-on-one area of the field, caught by James Matthew Jr., who was isolated out there with a smaller corner, Mark Martin. First down for the Corsairs.
James Matthews is a beast, and anytime you get him on one-on-one coverage, even against a cornerback, he's lethal.
That one goes for 24. Matthew Jr., number 1 in the league coming into the week in receptions with 70 for 852 yards. That's pretty incredible. William McDowell goes in motion, and he is split way wide out of the backfield. Interesting look there as Eric Price will fire it to McDowell, and McDowell did not get down the field quick enough. A little bit of miscommunication there will set up 2nd and 10.
I was talking about Zero and Zoma getting them involved, but McDowell, he's got great ability to catch the ball as a former wide receiver, and I think they tried to make use of it on that one, and just the timing of the play didn't work out.
2nd and 10, Price is off to a 1-for-3 start. 2-by-2 against a dime look. Price drops to throw, clean pocket. That pass is caught by Adrian Ellis over the middle. He has been clutch for this Corsair passing game this season. Another move of the chains for QCC.
Yeah, definitely. A big-time catch there by Ellis. What I like most about him, he's not, you see a lot of cookie-cutter approach on wide receivers in this league. He's 5'11", but he plays like he's 6'4".
Just missing on that interception attempt was Sam Blotner. Ellis with 43 catches. That leads the wide receivers on this team. That's still top 20 in the SFL with 613 yards this season. Now into the red zone on their opening drive. Ellis goes in motion. 3-down lineman for Charleston. Handoff goes to Zero. He's one-on-one in the trenches and is wrapped up pretty quickly by Khalil Thomas.
Yeah, let's see how the Charleston defense does here. They're knocking at the door here in the red zone. Let's see if they can settle down and put some pressure on Queen City.
2nd down and 8. Toss, Zero. He'll be wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. Good open field tackle there by Martin. The rest of this Queen City Corsair offense, Eric Price, William McDowell, Jet Zero, Tony Zoma in your backfield. Adrian Ellis, Xavier Knight, Joseph Boudet, Bob Wood are your wide receivers. Tight end, Arnold Paca, James Matthew Jr., and Abad Ruiz II. Watch for the guard, number 55, Robert Crone. He's just to Eric Price's left as McDowell once again goes in motion out of the backfield. Going into an empty look, and he's split out wide. 3rd down and 7. Price back to throw. Price looks middle. That pass is incomplete as Charleston closes in on Matthew Jr. I think that was 49 on 49 crime there. Mojon Tana in the vicinity will hold Queen City to 3.
I think that run play gave Charleston enough time to settle down there and get focused on stopping them from getting that first down. A good play on defense stopping the drive.
Joe Garfield swings the leg. He's now 14 of 18 for field goals on the season, and a solid 9-play, 47-yard drive. Takes 2 minutes and 32 seconds off the clock, and that's what starts our Monday Night Spectacular tonight. Charles, this game was flexed in. Carolina and Louisiana flexed out earlier this weekend. Matt South and the Carolina Skyhawks, Charleston's rival, got off to a slow start against the Revs, but pulled out their 3rd straight win. They're now 4-5, right on the heels of the Preds, who are also 4-5. This playoff race is getting tight.
Definitely. Things are heating up, sir.
This kick a little short to the 8-yard line. This is Adobe on the return, and Adobe got one block before Alex Marshall cuts him down at the 33-yard line. The crowd overall pleased with the special teams so far tonight. So John Lakeman, after a 0-for-2 start in his opening drive, will try to get things moving.
Yeah, that first series for Charleston wasn't very smooth. They just need to settle down and do what they did in practice all week, and I think things will start working for them.
First and 10 for the Preds. Corsairs showing some pressure, but pretty good blocking up front for Charleston, and Nick Hoagland picks up 7. That's just simple hat on a hat, Charles.
That's I think you got to have a good mix. I mean, we talked about as much both of these teams throw. I mean, they have to feed their running backs and have some balance here. You don't want to get too predictable.
Second down and 3. Shout outs to Don't Tread on Me, Ike McBride, Frank Dooms in the chat, JW Hartshorn, Chris Britton, as that pass is caught by Solomon for the first down of the 47-yard line. Tony's here, Grant's here, and many others. Say hi if you'd like. Xavier's got a first down, and Charleston's getting things moving.
Yeah, I think it's smart, early in the game, running some of those drag routes across the middle, just seeing if the defense will bite on it. I think it could be a good setup for a deep pass.
Under 6 to play in the first. Lakeman back to throw again. Another clean pocket. That pass a little bit overthrown as that was Terrell Sutherland out in the pass pattern. Queen City was being pretty physical with him. No call. 2nd and 10.
Yeah, I mean, the one person you don't want to throw to is the strong safety Wallace. He had a heck of a game last week. 2 interceptions, one of them for a touchdown, and he's on fire. Do not throw in that man's zip code.
He's 7th in the SFL in pass deflections with 9 on the season in those 2 picks he had last week. Lakeman dumps it off to Hoagland. Hoagland's going to push forward for a pickup of a couple. This Queen City defense led up front by Deterion Darshington, Chad Stinson, and Emmanuel Petrilla. Linebackers are Casper Haddock, Kappa Jones, Luke Swift, Morgan Brown, and Wolf Highwind. Corners, Brandon Ewing, Justin Reside, Ted Haynes, Anthony Wyo. And your safeties, thin but extremely effective, Alex Marshall at free, GB Wallace at strong. And on 3rd down and 8, Lakeman will pass. Short read, 1 yard shy of the sticks. And we'll see what Charleston wants to do with this, tackled immediately by Ted Haynes.
Yeah, I mean, it's frustrating when you as a fan, when you see them run those routes that are just a yard short of the first down marker. I mean, it's most of the time that doesn't work out when they catch the ball that short, because normally there's a defender right on them.
Here we go. In the 5 minutes into this ball game, Charleston's keeping the offense out there, and Nick Hoagland's got the first down. That was tight.
Ooh, that was close. That was close.
And we're going to get a challenge. This is a pretty big challenge early on in this one. Let's take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com. As Coach Clear looks on with nerves. Get 2 looks at this. The second look will give it to us straighter.
I like the fact that they had confidence in their offensive line there and ran it on 4th down. But a pitch play, man, that's rolling the dice.
Boy, I don't know if this is going to be overturned. That was close. Wow. What a challenge for Queen City early on in this game. They are going to get the football, and Charleston's going to turn it over on downs. Coach Clear can't believe it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's, that's too big a deal. I mean, I think they can bounce back from that one. Again, offensive line, back to that. They love it when you have confidence in them, and, they know that they can get it done, but not necessarily on that play, but I think they'll be back.
Haynes' vision showing us he was, in fact, short, but that was one of the closest replay calls I've seen this season. Again, Matthew Jr. targeted, and again, it's swatted away from him. Just 1 catch on his first 4 looks.
It looks like McLeon was had the receiver blanketed and didn't have any opportunity catching that ball. Good defense.
Three receivers. This is Wood going in motion. Price is off to a 2-for-6 start. One was a miscommunication with McDowell. Otherwise, it's just been Matthew Jr. who's been ineffectively targeted. That pass down the field is incomplete. Wow. And after getting matched up on Matthew Jr. on that 24-yard bomb, Mark Martin is taken over the game for the Charleston defense.
Yeah, that was a big hit. I mean, I thought it was an easy, well, not easy, but I thought it was a clear reception there. But man, nice closing speed by Martin. Maybe could have zipped the ball in there a little earlier.
3rd down and 10 for Queen City, trying to keep the drive alive after the turnover on downs. Price drops to throw. The pass is complete, but it's well short of the sticks. We've seen them go to that play a couple times on 3rd and long, Charles, and if that's a significant part of the game plan tonight, they could be in some trouble. Going to have to punt.
Yeah, those are the type of routes you run when you've got a big lead. Especially on 3rd down. Sorry, I need to clarify that.
So the punt is away. Ian Deegan with the punt, and then a block in the back call, almost positive on Charleston, is going to put them in some real poor field position. Let's see if we get a look at this. All the way back to the 14.
Wow. Yeah, you know.
Can't do that.
There's a little touch and a hello.
Not super egregious, though.
No. I'm going to have to Google egregious, but yes, it did not look egregious to me, sir.
The officials are a little touchy tonight after that early challenge.
AGG.
Charleston, 6.5-point favorites tonight, according to Jack's data. Over under of 41.5. Expecting a pretty defensive ball game, but not if Nick Hoagland is running like that. Best run of the night for either team. Nearly gets a 1st down.
The one thing I'm seeing out of Charleston on offense is they're mixing up the plays. I think that's great. I mean, you want to show Queen City that you're able to are willing to run all different types of plays, so they don't get in a pattern of defending, based on what they're expecting.
Storm's in the backfield now with Brad Taylor right. Nick Hoagland's gotten all 5 touches out of this backfield so far, but Storm's going to get his first carry, and he's got a 1st down. This is a talented backfield for Charleston and includes Saren Storm, Nick Hoagland, Terrell Sutherland, and Brad Taylor right, along with John Lakeman. The receivers, Honus Adobe, Ian Francis, Breddington James, Davius Reed, and Benjamin Warner. Tight ends, Leon Sandcastle and Xavier Solomon. A talented offensive line, DeBricashaw, Molyneux, Perrin, Ibarra, Leroy James, Finley James, and St. Nebuchadnezzar, as Hoagland picks up 3 more on his 5th carry. He's off to a strong start.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the luxury between Storm and Hoagland. I mean, it's like pick your poison. I mean, you've got Storm, who's basically Ike McBride but faster, and then you've got Nick Hoagland, that's a rushing touchdown machine. So, I mean, you've got, pick your poison.
Lakeman nearly sacked and then had to get rid of it early, and then off the bounce, Sutherland nearly caught it out of the backfield. Justin Reside was in coverage, 3rd and 7.
I mean, somebody's got to make a move here. I know Queen City has 3 on the board, but these 3rd downs are going to, especially on this game, is going to be very, very important.
They're down 7 for Charleston. They're 0 for 2 on 3rd down so far tonight. Queen City 1 for 3. Lakeman under center against some pressure. John Lakeman is sacked. Emmanuel Petrilla jumped out of his shoes to make that sack on Lakeman. Look at this one again.
The only thing missing, Cam, was a cape and an S on his chest. Holy smokes.
Seriously. Superman. I mean, he went flying.
More powerful than a locomotive.
2nd sack of the season for Petrilla. And Lakeman's going to be feeling that one tomorrow. Queen City winning the field position battle early on in this one as Wood returns it up to the 41-yard line. If you're new to the Simulation Football League, welcome. The SFL is football for everyone. Get off the sideline and start your player today by joining our Discord server at simulationfl.net. Click the Join the Community button and begin your career just to meet the stars of the SFL on and off the field. It's never too late to get involved. First and 10 at the 41-yard line. As Eric Price, it's caught by Ellis. Took it right off the helmet of a Charleston defender. The best reception of the night so far.
Again, 5'11", going up against cornerbacks that are 6'3", 6'2", 6'4". Just hangs in there, just grabs it out between the three and gets a first down.
We mentioned all the newcomers coming into the league. 44 players currently a part of the next draft class that'll come out in December. Should be quite the class once it's all said and done in our next rookie draft. So excited to see them getting on the field next month. James Matthew Jr. has his SFL career well in hand as he gets another first down on his third grab.
Yeah, smart play call there by Queen City. They did 2 receivers going across the middle, flooding that zone. Actually 3, it looked like. And then it was just pick which player was open. The linebacker there didn't know who to choose.
Neither did the umpire. 1:30 to go in the first quarter. Queen City is on the move. Price. Robert Crome picks up a defender late. That pass is incomplete. Jack Brown, pretty physical out there. No call. 2nd and 10.
Wow, and Bob Wood was open. He had a lot of field in front of him. Man, that was an opportunity missed, Cam.
Charleston's defense on the line. Anthony Robertson, Dan Dash, Anthony Ellison, Forrest Dalton. Linebackers Jack Brown, Mo John Tana, Gino McFly, Khalil Thomas. Corners Mark Martin, Adam Knoll, Corey Menner. And the safeties Matt Ryan, Sam Blotner, Jacob Clear, John Stamango. One of the deepest teams in the SFL. And at times this season they have certainly played like it. After the man goes in motion, Price will drop to throw. That pass nearly intercepted by Mark Martin, who just seems to be everywhere that the football is tonight. Another 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, so the defense, Cam, was showing man on that play, and you had the tight end, James Matthew Jr., on 1-on-1 coverage without any help from the safety on the top of the screen. I'm surprised they didn't go to him.
Price with a quads look on 3rd down and long. Fires it, intercepted! Picked off by Matt Ryan, who's in our chat tonight, and he's got a first down for his Preds at the 26-yard line.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, open range, reading the eyes of the quarterback, knowing where the ball is. Played the defense perfectly, cut the route off, got that interception, and now we've got the ball back in Charleston's hands.
He left Boudette kind of all alone, knowing that he did not run his route ahead of the sticks. And so far, Charles, Queen City's 3rd and long offense has really been their sort of Achilles heel so far.
Ooh, I was waiting for you to say Achilles heel. Well played, sir.
I didn't know. I was trying to do the telepathy.
Come on, say Achilles, say Achilles.
1st and 10 at the 26. ACHI. As Lakeman's pass caught by Reed, pickup of 7 yards in a tight window.
That's easier to spell than egregious.
I don't know. There's a lot of vowels in there. John Marine, yes, sir. Queen City's in white, Charleston's in blue tonight with the red pants. Welcome to the show. Handoff, Nick Hoagland. He's got a lot of room to run. Hoagland all the way up to the 45-yard line for a first down. He's up near 35 rushing yards in the first quarter.
I mean, they've got something there, Cam. Those runs, off guard, off tackle, I think they can be very successful in tonight. Just the straight runs. The pitches maybe not so much, but let's see if they click onto that and we see some more of that on this drive.
6 carries for 29 yards so far for Hoagland. Hoagland's season high is 79 that he rushed for against Carolina earlier this month, 3 weeks ago. Lakeman drops to throw. That pass is incomplete. At first I thought it was intercepted, and I think Brad Taylor-Wright may have played a little defense on that one.
Yeah, I mean, love it when they throw it to the fullbacks, but you know as well as I do, Cam, they're not known for having the best hands in the league.
You spent some time at fullback.
I did. The shortest fullback in football history.
How many catches did you have at fullback?
Not so much.
Lakeman's pass
I got a lot of splinters, though.
3rd and 10. Wyo was in coverage on Reed, who didn't get the better of Davius the first go-around, but did that time. So here we go, another 3rd down and long for these offenses. Charleston still has not converted a 3rd down in this quarter.
Another guy you got to look out for is Wyo at corner. I mean, he's very aggressive on those one-on-one coverage. He's going to fight you for it, so you got to have a strong wide receiver going up against him.
3rd down and 10. Francis goes in motion. Lakeman facing some heat late, and Lakeman is sacked from the backside. Taken down by Brandon Ewing on a corner blitz, and that ends the first quarter.
Well, I mean, on that play, Cam, they sent a safety, they sent a corner, they sent a linebacker. I mean, I was waiting for the punter to go running after the quarterback.
End of the quarter, it's a defensive one, but Queen City surprisingly out in front early, 3-0 on the road against the Preds. You're watching the Monday Night Spectacular, presented by APM Music on YouTube. We're going to be talking about these two teams' playoff chances a lot as we go into the evening. Charleston is at Atlanta next week. If Charleston wins this game tonight, that would be a monster game on April 5th. Check that in a couple of weeks, as Charleston is off next week. Fair catch.
Charleston's next two games are tough. Sorry, they got Minnesota right after that.
Yeah, Minnesota to end the season.
Holy smokes!
Which is that's pretty brutal at Minnesota for that matter. So yeah, Charleston and Queen City both pretty desperate to get some victories, as the Corsairs are also off next week before hosting Portland. Queen City could get rolling here if they could find a victory for themselves. 1st and 10 of the 15. Toss play out to Zero. They'll scoop up 4 yards. Zero's 4th carry of the night. He's the only back for Queen City to get one so far.
I'm looking for Queen City on this drive to find their groove. I mean, they've been a little disjointed so far in this first half, and I think in order to pull ahead, they're going to have to find what works and just hang on.
2nd and 6. Handoff to McDowell. Not much space there as Matt Ryan, who had the pick on the last drive, gets his first tackle. Another 3rd down.
I mean, they've been dodging the bullet here. They gotta get a first down here on this drive. I think Charleston's going to figure it out, and they'll be knocking at the door, putting points on the scoreboard here pretty soon if they don't stop it.
3rd and 5. Eric Price to throw. Price going to take off and run. His lineman got in his way. He did have a lane front and center, but he actually ran into one of his linemen, brought down from behind. It's only a 2-yard pickup, and Queen City will have to punt.
Great coverage downfield for the Charleston secondary there. I mean, the coverage brought that on, and some heads-up tackling as well.
Maybe our stats crew can help us. I think that may have been Adam Nold who ended up bringing down Price. But Charleston's going to get their best field position of the night on their own 47-yard line. Lakeman 4 for 10 for 25 yards. But I think more importantly, Charles, he has not thrown an interception yet in this game, and keeping a clean sheet is valuable to his confidence tonight.
Yeah, and they've got Hoagland there who's warming up. So, I mean, I think they got a lot to be positive about.
Adobe goes in motion. Reed is your leading target with 4. He is out. Warner is at the bottom of the screen. Lakeman drops to throw, going deep down the middle of the field. That was Reed, and that is incomplete. G.B. Wallace with the deflection.
Yeah, rolling the dice, throwing into that double coverage. Wow.
8.5 to go in the first half. Neither offense has totaled 100 yards just yet. We are in a chess match stalemate right now. And we need the hour in the sand in the hourglass to run out. Somebody will make a move. 2nd and 10. Lakeman looking down the field. Incomplete. And again, tight coverage. That was actually Casper Haddock dropping back deep to help his defensive backfield.
I mean, they're running a lot of routes in the middle and targeting the receivers in the middle, but I think they need to start looking at maybe those short out routes to medium out routes.
The coverage down the field from both these secondaries has been pretty lethal. Lakeman looking for someone to get open and finds Adobe for the first down. Wyo spills him at about the 37-yard line, but Lakeman likes that.
I mean, what do I know, Cam? Said stay away from the middle, and Lakeman proved me wrong on that one.
Well, for
good
the first
coverage as well by Wyo.
Yeah, for the first time in a while, Charles, he saw some one-on-one coverage down the field, and that may be the best these quarterbacks get tonight, because I don't foresee a lot of open receivers in this game.
And that's impressive for Odobe going up against Wyo to bring that in.
I agree. It goes for 16. That's the longest play of the game for Charleston's offense, as Saren Storm will get 5 on his second carry. Preds are rolling.
That's what you need on first down, Cam. The ability to run and knock off 5. I mean, it's not sexy, but I mean, it keeps the offense moving and keeps the defense on their toes.
Second and half of what they need. Hand off Hoagland. Hoagland's got some room. Hoagland bounces off a tackle, and there's an injury on the play. We'll see. Oh, it's Alex Marshall. That is a critical injury for Queen City because they have no contracted backup free safety. We just talked about the deep down the field not being too open. Well, without Marshall, that could become a problem for Queen City secondary.
Yeah, they're losing the team leader in tackles, and Kim Herring is going to have to go out there and step in.
That is a brutal loss. Marshall top 20th, in fact, coming into the week, 67 tackles on the season. First down and 10 for Charleston. We'll check Marshall's injury at the break. Warner goes in motion as Charleston's in position to knock that goose egg off the scoreboard, which has already happened twice here in week 11. Couple shutouts across the league by Seattle and Florida. That pass is overshot to set up 2nd and 10.
I know it's early, but so far they've shut Benjamin Warner down. He's been their leading receiver this season, and so far I think they're focusing on keeping the ball from his hands.
45 catches, 11th in the SFL. You see Lakeman, 4 of his last 10 passes and 1 of his last 6. Struggling just a bit as Lakeman is scrambling away. Got popped and hit Davius Reed inside the 10, down to the 8. He knew he was going to get crushed in the backfield, and he delivered his best pass of the night.
Yeah. Oh, that's impressive. Lakeman just, stood in the middle of the inferno and just, kept from getting burned, and was just enough time for Davius Reed to find an opening in that zone coverage.
First and goal now at the 8. Charleston's first trip into the red zone tonight. Queen City bringing a lot, and they dump it off the Storm, and it was Darshington, the defensive end, who actually dropped back into a shallow zone right in Storm's vicinity and drops him for a loss of 2.
Not the best execution of that play, but I don't think it's necessarily that bad because I think Queen City's trying to figure out what they're going to do here on second.
Second down goal. Warner isolated bottom of the screen. More pressure. Queen City sacked again. A combo stop by Chad Stinson and Wolf Highwind in the backfield. Charleston's going backwards.
That was that send the whole bus in. Again, on the outside, they sent 2 blitzers on both sides, and then up the middle, they sent an extra linebacker.
You could see there on those couple of angles, Charles, that they were just manned up down the field, and it didn't really look like anybody was open.
And it happened so fast. I mean, that's if you can hold it for another second, it's hard to hold that man coverage that long.
Yep, third down and goal from the 15. Reed goes in motion. Charleston's really going to have to pull something magical out now. Lakeman, delayed blitz pass, caught by Reed, touchdown! Davius Reed in between 2 Corsairs for our first score of the night.
This drive, I mean, Lakeman showed some guts there in the pocket, but Davius Reed's had 2 phenomenal catches, and this one for the score to go ahead, right in a pack of defenders as well. Oh my gosh, that right there is the catch of the game.
You bet. Right past Brandon Ewing and Anthony Weil. That's your nice hands catch, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it. SFL 4K23. Charleston gets their first lead of the night.
I mean, I read your mind with the Achilles comment and the nice catch of the game. I mean, so far, Cam, you and I have a symbiotic relationship.
S-Y-M.
I had to throw a big word at you.
Davius Reed's 4th touchdown. That ties Solomon for the team lead, at least from a receiver perspective. Hoagland's got 5 on the ground this season. Charleston finally able to get some points on the board, and we got a pretty good football game here in South Carolina tonight as Adrian Ellis gets the return up to the 29-yard line. That's where Queen City will set up for their next possession. Liking the game so far, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The SFL produces over 400 events a year. There is no one else that gives you more football. Don't miss a minute of SFL or SFLM action and help the channel grow through your support. Price checks it down. Ellis, his 3rd grab already of the night, gets 8.
Yeah, I mean, it's a short route there by Ellis. I think they can play on that all night. I mean, defense, the secondary for Charleston, they're going back in a lot of deep zone, so they're leaving that short to mid range open for those drag routes and hook routes.
That ends a drought of 3 straight incompletions for Price as McDowell gets his strongest run up to the 44-yard line for a first down.
Love it. I mean, after a pass like that, go in there and run it. I mean, mix up the plays, have some balance. That's what we need to see from Queen City.
Just about halfway through this second quarter. Ron Haynes, Rochelle Colston, Jacob Clear, Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk, Charles Doherty, and yours truly here for your MNS crew for the 11th consecutive week. That pass is caught by Matthew Jr. near another first down.
That's another weapon. I mean, you got to get him involved as well. At tight end, he's one of the best tight ends in the league.
Price now 7 of 15 for 92 yards. That one pick, his blemish. Jet Zero gets a carry up to the Charleston 36-yard line, and Queen City is having no issues moving the football on this drive, averaging about 7 yards a play.
Love it. And I mean, in my opinion, it's those successful runs and solid blocking by Queen City that's setting up those pass plays as well. I mean, it's, you can't be one-dimensional, and they're showing it on this play how effective just a little bit of success in the run can do in your pass game.
Queen City averages 88 yards a game on the ground, 263 through the air. Certainly not a prolific running team, but as with most teams in the league, they're obviously better when they can get that run game moving, so it's not all on Price. Handoff to McDowell, wrapped up by Stamango after a 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6. Stamango's 5th tackle leads the team.
I think that Queen City has to walk away with at least a field goal here. I know they really want a touchdown, but I think Charleston has found something on their offense. Queen City's got to walk away with something.
Well, with Alex Marshall sidelined with that injury, Queen City trying to take a lot of time off the clock. Look at Jet Zero all the way down to the Charleston 20-yard line as Zero gets over 30 rushing yards in the first half.
Yeah, that's the definition of a power run, Cam. Look at that. Decent blocking up the middle, but the rest was all power by Jet Zero, running over the defenders, hurdling into the first down.
Down to 3:40 to go in the first half. Both these teams certainly playing a playoff caliber game tonight. Zero's season high is 98 rushing yards. He got that against Motor City. About a month and a half back. Price now dumps it off to Matthew Jr. and again running a couple of crossing routes as Jr. connects for 6.
I mean, I'm going to run out of accolades for James Matthew Jr. I mean, he is definitely a reliable receiver. Any quarterback in the league would want to have a tight end that skilled.
We can see why he's leading the league in receptions. He already has 5 in the first half. 0 is going to make it a more manageable third down. And getting back to Queen City for a minute, Charles, this is a team that has not had a primetime game, has not been in this type of spotlight in quite some time. They're trying to turn this team around and make them a playoff contender again, and this is their moment right here. Third and 2. Hand off McDowell. And McDowell's not going to get it. Oh, is he going to get on the second effort? What a play. McDowell able to just somehow scratch and claw his way across the down line.
I mean, I'm sure he's taken some martial arts, because that was definitely some body positioning, being able to get that first down, if he does indeed get it.
We're going to take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console at GoRetroid.com. I'm not sure that Coach Clear is going to win this challenge. We'll take a look. There's a lot to look at here. He's not down yet.
His knee didn't go down. I don't think I saw the knee go down. Did you?
No, I don't. Oh, where's the ball, though? The ball may have been short. Almost every other part of his body was across. Oh, that's what it must have been. The ball, if you look down the line, of course, the line is unofficial. It's very thick, but where the actual chain was compared to where the ball was, it looked like every part in Haynes' vision helping us out again. His entire lower body was across the line, but the ball was not. And
I think we need a Ron Haynes photo capture of that one.
We got it. You look in our chat, and maybe in the playoffs we'll actually have that for everyone to see going forward. But Queen City will have to settle for a field goal that, if it was 5 yards deeper, may have not been any good. That kick is good, however. 10 plays, 60 yards on the drive for Queen City, but they do have to settle for 3, and we have a 7-6 first half.
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily lose any sleep over that if I was Queen City. I mean, that was a very good run. If they saw what they could be successful with on offense, they marched down the field. I mean, that they, they hit a couple bumps and they got in the red zone, but they walked away with 3. I think they should be ready for the next series.
And a fumble! Fumble on the return. Queen City recovers. Oh, what a critical turnover. That ball picked up by Alex Marshall, who's back in the game.
Now he's just showing off. I'm injured. I broke my leg, but hey, I can pick up a fumble. I mean, we talked about, being ready for the next series, and man, the special teams wouldn't even let the defense come out.
Fumble forced by Brandon Ewing, who already has a sack tonight. And Queen City's defense gets him the football back.
Woo.
Matthew Jr. goes in motion. Queen City has gotten Charleston's fans a bit shook. Price to pass. Over the middle. Matthew Jr. his 6th catch. He's on pace to tie his season high of 12.
Yeah, I mean, they are in the driver's seat right now, Cam. I would just be patient. You don't be too daring. You got plenty of time on the board and plenty of field to work with.
2 minutes to go. A tight one in Charleston. Queen City's got the ball back after a kick return fumble. Hand off McDowell. Got a lot of space right up the gut to the 8-yard line. Both teams have had a lot of success running right up the gap. First and goal.
Yeah, Cam, I think Queen City's starting to figure it out on offense. I mean, feed the running backs. I mean, they haven't done that all season, but, man, they're able to do it tonight.
Queen City is up to 62 rushing yards in the first half, out rushing Charleston at this point. Eric Price throwing into the end zone. That pass incomplete. Stamango with tight coverage on Matthew Jr. second and goal.
I think that was a bullet they dodged. I mean, they could have walked away with a sack or an interception, but they lived for another play.
.134 to go in the first half. Toss, 0-0 there. Quickly wrapped up. That's Adam Nold, third and goal.
You know, Cam, if I was Eric Price, and I'm not, I would only throw it in the end zone if it is wide open. I mean, you got to walk away with three, at least three here.
Third down and goal. Price dumps it into triple coverage. That pass was incomplete. That had no chance. And Queen City have to settle for another field goal.
Yeah, well, and I forgot to say and don't throw it to a player that's triple covered. I didn't get that in time. Sorry, Cam.
That would be important.
Hey, they're going to get 3 out of this, hopefully. And, again, that's a good way. You got to put points on the board after you get a turnover.
It's been kind of a problem for Queen City this season as this field goal is good. 28 red zone trips coming into tonight, but just 11 red zone touchdowns. And this is the third game in a row that Queen City so far has not had a red zone touchdown. So their struggles inside the opponent's 20 are prevalent right now for this team, but they do have a 2-point lead.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the road, and, they're, don't have any of that home cooking, and they're able to walk away at halftime, hopefully here with a lead. I think that's not a bad position to be in.
Francis doesn't fumble that one. He gets it up to the 29 instead. Coming up on the APM Music halftime report, Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk have the recap from the first half in South Carolina. Key moments in the playoff chase from this week and Tyler's favorite moments from the week that was. All that and more on the APM Music halftime report. The more, Charles, includes a Curtis haircut.
I can't wait to see what his new do looks like. He's been bragging about it all day.
That's Curtis bragging about his appearance. First and 10 of the 29. They dump it off to Hoagland after a blitz. Hoagland is not going to be able to get out of bounds, but it is going to get Charleston in a position to get aggressive here just before the half. Perfect play call.
Yeah, definitely perfect. And, you throw it to a dangerous player as well. And, thank goodness that from the Queen City side, they were able to close on that play. I thought he was going to go for more.
All right, what does Charleston have in the bag at their own 42-yard line? Again, Queen City bringing some heat. This pass is low and away, but a little too low to Ben Warner, but it will stop the clock with 44 seconds left.
I think that's maybe an adjustment we might see here in the second half. Charleston doing something to capitalize against that heavy blitz of Queen City.
Second and 10. Lakeman, corner blitz, throws right where the blitz came from. That pass is caught by Solomon to the 48-yard line, and Charleston will take their second timeout. Another good read from Lakeman.
Yeah, and you're putting a lot of confidence on that one-on-one coverage.
Yep.
The outside linebacker, Luke Swift, is very, very solid. He leads the team in tackles for loss, but, man, that's one-on-one. If the receiver got past him, we'd be looking at a score, I think.
We need the Queen City 48 for first down. Warner goes in motion. Lakeman's 21st pass of the half. Fires it down the field. Reed could not make the adjustment on it. And in no man's land, Charles, I think you have to punt. You're too close to Queen City's own end get a little risky.
Yeah, you don't want to you don't want to play against the odds on this one. Just punt it and let the clock run out.
Queen City got to feel pretty good about how this first half has gone. 163 total yards and 8 first downs, despite being just 1 of 7 on third down. Their third down offense really hindering them, but the rest of it has been pretty good for the Corsairs, as this ball will die in the end zone. But more importantly, Charles, it burned 10 seconds off the clock as Queen City let it go.
Yeah, to add on to what you said, Cam, I mean, Queen City, the early part of the game and early part of the half and the latter part of the half, it's like a tale of two cities. I mean, they're playing a lot better here late in the first half. The beginning of the game, not so much. I mean, they were trying to find themselves on offense, but I think they have now.
24 seconds left. We'll see what Queen City wants to do with it. I'll just hand it off to Jet Zero, and we may see one more play before the break.
Yeah, I think that's smart. Just let it run out. Everybody gets to see the haircut.
down to 4. Price fires it into no man's land. It's going to stop the clock with 2 seconds left. If he would have thrown a pick on that, Charleston would have gotten a field goal.
That would have been horrible. Absolutely. Sheesh. There'd be some mad Queen City fans out there.
Crowd chanting defense in a tight one here in Week 11. A playoff atmosphere in Charleston as both of these teams desperate for a win to remain relevant in the playoff picture. Price will fire it to Matthew Jr. to pad the stats. That's his 7th catch of the first half, and that is the end of our first half. Queen City 9, Charleston 7. The Predators have a fumble, and the Queen City Corsairs have an interception to their offensive names. But overall, a pretty clean half. Both teams moved the football. Both teams were balanced. We've got a good one. Your overall thoughts on the first half, Charles?
Yeah, I think Queen City I think they hit their stride late in the first half. As I said, a couple minutes earlier, Charleston has to figure out something there to get control on the offense again. I mean, they started out strong, and they were sputtering a little bit late in the first half. So the other thing is against those heavy blitzes, I think we'll see hopefully see some mixes and some audibles to counteract that in the second half.
Davius Reed finishes with 48 receiving yards to lead the Preds receiving core, and your first half player goes to Davius Reed, actually, with that one beautiful touchdown catch. Your Retroid nice hands catch of the game. That's the only touchdown of the first half, but Charleston trails by 2, 9-7. Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk have your APM Music halftime report, and it starts right now. This is the Monday Night Spectacular on SFL YouTube.
And with that, welcome in to the APM Music Halftime Report. Chris Curtis alongside Tyler Falk. And Tyler, a 9-7 game between two teams that are desperately seeking a win. And Queen City, with no touchdowns on the board, has the advantage going into the second half. Give me your thoughts on it was an eventful first half, albeit not the most exciting brand of football all the way through.
Well, at the same time, Curtis, they're definitely playing like they're on the line, that everything is on the line, their season is on the line, especially for Queen City. 7 losses the last few seasons going back haven't been enough to be in the postseason. We've even seen 7 and 5 teams not make the postseason. And so for Queen City, you're looking at yourselves and we have to win this game. We have to beat a team who's right in the thick of things, just like us. And for Charleston, they do have the lone touchdown tonight, and I have really liked John Lakeman really not being too overly aggressive. He has no blemishes on his record so far as turnovers, which we know he's thrown a whole bunch of, but he's kept Charleston in the game because he's been able to get away with a few passes and been able to be a little bit more consistent. Still would like to see both quarterbacks try and up their game just a little bit. Both are still below 50%, but that's where the run games have to come up. That's where Nick Hogan still has to get going. He was really strong in the first half, couldn't really get going. Same could be said about the entire Queen City rushing attack as well. The big thing is that these defensives have really controlled the football game for the most part. We've had a lot of punts, but we still have had a lot of consistency, and that's been Queen City going down the field on three different occasions. Yes, they haven't scored touchdowns, but they've got field goals, and that's why they have the lead.
Fair enough. And then as we get away from Charleston, as we look for these guys to have an awesome second half, it should be a lot of fun. Want to talk a little bit about kind of the week that was, and there was several exciting matchups, several exciting moments, and some peculiar moments as well that I want to touch on with you, and we'll get to your favorites here in a bit, but a couple of standouts here. The only 6-0 SFL game in history happened between Seattle and Jacksonville this week. I believe you had a hand, maybe not a hand in that, but you had had your eyes on that one. 6-0 Seattle beats Jacksonville in a game that Seattle needed. What is your thoughts getting out of that game for Seattle, who's holding on to the 6th spot?
So for Seattle, it just shows that, yes, it was tough. It was a tough game. They had to be resilient, especially deep backed up into their own territory. Jacksonville was in the red zone 5 times. 5 times. And this is a pretty gut-wrenching and damning statement for Jacksonville. 5 times they were in the red zone. 5 turnovers in the red zone. Just incredible defense. It was, in general, it was just so tough to watch. Jacksonville, who has needed something to go their way, needed something to happen, but it just, when they thought they could get something, all of a sudden they were making plays like that. Bruin would overthrow a target. He would underthrow a target. Just DBs would be making spectacular plays on the football. It just wasn't working in the red zone. Everything they were trying to call just couldn't come to fruition.
Yeah, two interceptions in the red zone. That was their only 2 interceptions of the game, and then they also had a turnover on downs. Talking about Jacksonville in the red zone, they just could not finish the job, and one of those scores goes in, and Jacksonville's talking about a win instead of recovering from a devastating 6-0 loss. And there's a fumble as well that you see there. Seattle was all over the ball, and you got to give them a little bit of credit. Next up on the docket, I want to talk a little bit about the LA-San Diego game. LA started out hot in this game, and San Diego, I think they were napping up until the second half as they came through with a whole lot of spunk in the second half, and I think they rattled off 30-plus straight points in the third and fourth quarter.
35 exact. They were down 17-6, in partial thanks to the retiring Ryan Joseph with a 102-yard pick 6, outracing Johnny Pickler the entire way. But then everything collapsed in the second half. You see just LA, they have the momentum, they have the fight, they had the drive, but something happened to that locker room. Something clicked for them, for the Mavs, that immediately turned things around, and they started scoring points. They started putting LA on the back foot, and it just kept going. They couldn't stop them. It was like the ball had just been pushed down the hill, and all it was doing was gathering momentum, and the Mavs come back from a 17-6 deficit in the first half to finish off the game 41-24.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of change from the first half to the second half. This game was important for San Diego, too, because this keeps them in the hunt and actually in the picture for the playoffs. They're the number 10 seed right now. If the playoffs started today, they would play Baltimore in the first round of the SFL playoffs. And then the other one to speak about, one that the Skyhawks desperately needed. 3 straight wins for Carolina. They come through with a comeback that did not start out hot for them, going up against the Revolution. And Revolution started out with a punt return. Yeah, special teams. Cliff Allen's over there somewhere shaking his head. And that's a lot of what Louisiana had going for them. They stayed in the game, but eventually Carolina just too much.
It was just a great game in general to watch, a great game to call, but you just had to look at the difference that Mount South has been able to do in this season, and let alone, he also made a dramatic turnaround. That first quarter really wasn't working for him, wasn't really working for Carolina, but all of a sudden he starts to get more confident, starts throwing a lot more consistent passes. Louisiana tries to get a little tricky with it, get a little ad hoc with some of their play calls, and it just didn't work. Someone just back pass to Chris Grant Jr. Not a whole bad in the long term, but it only ends in a field goal, and Carolina takes advantage. They start putting plays together. McBride gets going, not obviously on that play, but they put this next drive together. Long drive after long drive to really take out the fight of Louisiana. That nice little nonchalant catch to get things going. But after this drive, Louisiana just could not recover. Their third down play calling went out the window. Louisiana falls. Carolina takes control, takes over, and they keep pace with everybody above 500, which now is looking like a very crucial area to be if you're looking to stay in the playoff hunt.
Yeah, as you see there, the first time we've seen Carolina on the playoff picture graphic so far this season, they are ahead of Alamo City, and right now in the 11th spot, they would play Seattle if the playoffs started today, which would be a fun one to watch. You're in the picture graphic. I mean, you've got the 5 through 12 seeds are all within 2 games of each other with just a couple to go. Fort Worth not so comfortably sitting in the 5 seed right now at 7-3. Hopefully they can keep their roll going. But all the way back to the 12th spot, that's the last playoff spot, and that's Alamo City holding on to that at 5-5 right now. There's a chance that we could see another 7-5 team not make this postseason the way things are shaking out. There's only a couple of teams right now, Motor City and Los Angeles, that have been eliminated. Everybody else is still mathematically able to make the playoffs by one scenario or a few others. So this is my favorite time of the SFL season. Hopefully it's yours as well. But the playoff race in the SFL, there's really not a lot like it in sports, esports, anything. So buckle up, because these last few weeks are going to be insane with every game that's on. Talking about the week that was, we went over 3 key moments. I want to get your thoughts as to what your favorite moment or moments of this week was. You called a couple of games. You had your eye on a few more. Where does your brain go immediately upon that question?
Well, I've got 3 games, and obviously number 1, we already touched on this game, so I won't take too much time off of it, but Jacksonville and Seattle, the first 6-0 game in SFL history. Mm-hmm. The defensive fortitude from Seattle to really keep that game close and eventually win and keep a donut on the other side of the scoreboard. The other 2 we really haven't talked about too much, and I'm going to start with Arizona and Portland. Arizona, in and of itself, played a very interesting ball game. They let Portland walk all over them for a little bit, and then all of a sudden they had to turn things up a notch. Eddie Gage and Iverson Gamble and the rest of the crew over there, that defense really had to step up in that fourth quarter. They let Portland come all the way back, get this nice touchdown to go ahead late in the fourth. Arizona needing to save face to a Portland team who is maybe on the outside. If Portland gets a little bit momentum, maybe they're looking at maybe the postseason, their final season in the SFL. Mike Churchill comes up with a nice catch here to help get the drive going in the last 2 minutes, and all of a sudden it looked like Arizona had something cooking. 40 seconds to go. They still are looking for something to go. Pitch play near side. And all of a sudden, you gotta look out for DJ Moses. He loves to make plays like this, loves to make bouncing tackles. It leads to a field goal that would ultimately send them to overtime. And Arizona from there, well, you know what Eddie Gage and the Arizona Scorpions like to do. They like to establish themselves to begin overtime, formulate a game plan, get the football down the field, and all it took was that nice little pass to TJ Punk to get him inside the 30-yard line. Game-winning field goal. That's pretty much it. No. We don't got a field goal. We get something special from Ashley Jackson. We get to see her roll around the pocket, fire a deep pass over the middle to Hands. And Hands comes in for the touchdown. Arizona on a walk-off touchdown in overtime. Final game I want to touch on here, partner, was the San Diego game. Because San Diego down deep, down hard, 17-6. They had to have something in their Gatorade to start off that first half. It wasn't pretty. It wasn't a good showing. You take a look at the last couple minutes, that second quarter, and you're just like, what on earth is going on? and then they start turning things around. We already touched on it. Great game. Fantastic football from the Mavs to finish out this ball game, to finish out Week 11. In my opinion, that late night Sunday block really was must-watch football. There wasn't a lot of people watching because it was teams that were just on the outskirts coming in, but it was must-watch football for those that wanted to watch it and needed to watch it. You missed a great, excellent Sunday night of SFL action. Go ahead and check out the highlights over here on SFL YouTube.
Yep.
Now it's time to get to some more football.
Yeah, we are right on the precipice of the second half in Charleston, but be prepared. These next couple of weeks of SFL action will be a must-watch. Playoff football, for a lot of teams, it's already started, and it continues this coming week, including with the second half of this game. It is Charleston down 9-7 to Queen City as we start the third quarter. Back to Charles Doherty and Cameron Irvine on the other side. Thanks for watching the APM Music Halftime Report.
Thanks, guys, and welcome back to Charleston, South Carolina for the second half between Queen City and Charleston. Chris Curtis and Tyler Falk back in our studios. Charles Doherty and I on the game call. Jacob Clear holding down the stats truck. Ron Haynes, Rochelle Colston assisting as Queen City will start the half with a knee. Here is a summary of your first half stats, and Queen City staying balanced, just a little bit better than Charleston, but both teams had very similar first halves. Mr. Doherty?
Definitely. I think we need to figure out, specifically Charleston needs to figure out how to stop that blitz of Queen City. I mean, it's surprising going up against such a good offensive line that they're allowing so many sacks.
That'll be the key in the second half as Jet Zero is going to start off with nada. Jack Brown comes in to smoke him out, 2nd and 10.
And I have to say here, coming in from that halftime show, two things. First of all, Curtis's hair looks fierce, and I think he was saying a subliminal message to Tyler to show his due as well.
Under the cap.
Yeah, go capless.
2nd down and 10. Price trying to set up a screen. It's read by Mark Martin, who's going to get a block. 20, 15, Mark Martin spins inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line. Martin's all over the field tonight. He read that one like a book.
Yeah, he almost got his second interception for a touchdown. Man, that was playing the field to perfect execution. Great coverage there. And let's see if how accurate the pass was. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he saw that cornerback just standing there.
Martin got off his original receiver to kind of sit down in a shallow zone, and that is a critical mistake by Eric Price, who's up to 2 interceptions, in Queen City's got a short field, and if they get a touchdown, we could be looking at one of those touchdowns beat field goals games. This is Sandcastle in motion. Lakeman into the end zone. Touchdown, Xavier Solomon, the X Factor.
I mean, they sent the blitz there, and he knew where to throw it. Now, just the wide receiver was just open. Solomon right on the edge of the end zone there. They had to have looked at some pictures there from the first half and made an adjustment. A nice route there run by the tight end to counteract that all blitz.
John Lakeman tonight, 2 touchdowns in his last 6 passes. His last 10 passes have gone 7 for 10, and he's not just slinging it deep down the field, but he's staying patient. And so far, he's getting the better of the Corsair secondary.
Yeah, not making any mistakes. I mean, just hanging in there, letting his running backs as well, do what they're paid to do. So, so far, so good for Charleston.
So off the Mark Martin interception, John Lakeman hits Xavier Solomon, and Charleston is now back up by 5, 14-9, as Wood returns that to the 22-yard line. James Matthew Jr. in the first half, 7 catches. All other players, just 3 grabs. Queen City's going to have to diversify a little bit on both sides of the ball if they want a chance at this comeback.
I mean, we talked about Charleston making adjustments. That's one of the adjustments that Queen City is going to need to make. They need to spread it around because I'm sure that Charleston is probably going to put some extra coverage there on that tight end.
First down at the 22-yard line. We'll see how Price bounces back. Clean pocket. Dangerous throw, but man, that one on a rope to Adrian Ellis, his fourth grab.
Yeah, fourth grab. I mean, it's eye-opening. Ellis, it catches balls in a crowd. I mean, again, I hate to keep going back to the my player's 5'7", so I'm allowed. He's 5'11", and he's in a crowd, and he can catch it. So, yeah, don't hate on the height.
What a bounce-back throw from Price. 4 catches, 61 yards for Ellis, 7 for 66 for Matthews. As that throw a little bit outside of the reach of Ellis, second down.
You know, I'm waiting for Charleston to send an extra, defender on there on the blitz. I mean, we saw totally opposite play style on the Queen City defense, and need to see a little bit more blitzing, I think, from Charleston.
Nickel look for the Preds. Matthew Jr. in motion. Price, 4-man rush. Price escapes to his right, fires down the field. Ellis looking for it, but could not snag it. And 3rd and long has been the crippling effect for this Queen City offense. 1 of 8. Can they convert?
It's amazing what good things happen on defense when you break the pocket down.
Trips left. Queen City needs a response as some DBs creep up for the Preds. Price to throw. Price down the field, picked again. Mark Martin. Martin past the 40. Mark Martin all the way inside, nearly the red zone. He is totally robbing Eric Price of a second half.
I don't understand why the ball had to come out so early. The routes didn't have enough time to develop. They only sent 3 men in on a rush on defense, so it's kind of a head scratcher there, and the Charleston defense made him pay.
Mark Martin, 4 tackles, 3 passes defended, 2 picks in this football game. Martin had 3 picks coming in.
City had
it's
out
gone.
the door, I think.
It's gone.
Yep. All right.
And they had it at the end of the half as Martin dumps it off to Hoagland. Nick Hoagland breaks a tackle, picks up 6 on the little dump off. It's his 3rd catch of the night. 2nd and 4.
Smart play on first down. Again, giving it to Nick Hoagland. He does amazing things after catching the ball out of the backfield.
Charleston in their wins have been a dominant second half team. As the handoff goes to Storm. Storm going to push ahead, and Charleston continues their showcasing of their training facilities because their weight room must be phenomenal.
I mean, that's what happens when, you saw them send a couple extra players in there on the blitz, and you get the right, run blocking assignments and execution. You can run right up against that blitz every day.
Queen City could really use a field goal force here. Keep this a 1-score game or a turnover for that matter. Charleston's only turnover of the night, Ian Francis fumble on a kick return. Lakeman to throw, dumps it off. Nick Hoagland's got some open space, gets 7. And right now, I mean, things are simple for John Lakeman. He's just dumping off the football to where the blitz comes from.
Well, we talked about adjustments, Cam. That's what they did. It looks like on every play here in the second half, Queen City's been sending extra players in on blitz, and Charleston's making them pay so far.
9 in the box for Queen City. 2nd down and 3. Handoff, Storm got outside, touchdown! And you see all those different Queen City Corsair defenders falling all over the place trying to get Storm down.
Yeah, blocking initially was very solid. Didn't hold on to it too long, but the rest was Sarah and Storm. Made that adjustment, bounced out to the outside, and dancing in the end zone.
2 touchdowns in 3 minutes to start the second half.
Wow. That shows you a quality team when you can capitalize on turnovers.
Bretchett's extra point is good. If I'm Queen City on the next drive, Charles, I got to get the ground game going. I got to get Price to settle down here.
Or take a page from Charleston and, do a couple of dump offs to the, either short pass to the tight end or the running backs out of the backfield.
Queen City's
just don't throw deep.
Yeah, Queen City's realistic playoff hopes are slipping away at 3-7. It's very rare. It does happen, but it's very rare that a 5-7 team makes the playoffs. And Queen City's late season struggles kind of surprising. They got off to a hot start this season, but in recent weeks have not been playing their best football. They lost to Los Angeles last week, LA's first win of the season. Played a nice game against Canton, but fell short in that one, and also lost to Alamo City at the beginning of March, 35-20. They lost to Minnesota, 33-7. This team started 3-2, but the wheels have fallen off. It's been surprising.
On that last play, a smart play by Price, had the delayed blitz and didn't try and go deep, just dumped it off and got a couple yards out of it.
And off to 0, gets 2 to set up a 3rd and 3.
Every third down, Cam, for Queen City is a must win for them.
One of 9. And that third down conversion they had came very early in this one. 3rd and 3. Price. Oh, man, Matthew Jr. I'm with you, Charles. It's almost like he's seeing ghosts because he doesn't have to get rid of it that fast. Matthew Jr. is clobbered by Mark Martin, and that's the end of the drive.
It's a head scratcher, Cam. It looks like every route was a go route there, and there wasn't any. You're not helping your quarterback out if you don't have a short route or a running back out of the backfield to dump it out to.
A frustrating.
They only needed a couple yards. It's easy for me to say, but they're not. They're not having they need to be a little bit more creative as far as those short routes go.
Yeah, I agree. That is fair caught by Francis. So Charleston's going to get pretty good field position at the 41 right now. It's just a 12-point game. Queen City just has to stop the bleeding. They just need to stop.
And Charleston figured it out on offense as well. Hoagland and Storm.
Hoagland has 67 all-purpose yards on 11 touches tonight, just over 6 yards a play as Reed goes in motion. Toss, Hoagland, and a great job by Justin Reside to come up and clean that up right at the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, that was a nice open field tackle by Reside.
Next week gets started with 4 games on Friday night. Of course, it's Easter weekend, so no games on Easter Sunday, but the whole week kicks off as Lakeman's pass is caught by Warner for a first down. The whole week kicks off with San Diego at Canton. Can the Mavericks be the team to finally slow down the unbeaten Classics? Other action on Friday includes Motor City and Carolina. Could the Skyhawks win their 5th in a row? DC is at Tulsa. The Desperados and Dragons have been on fire as of late, and LA goes to Portland. It's a pretty good Friday slate right there.
I'm still putting ointment on the burns from DC. They are on fire.
Man, they are playing like a championship contender, no doubt about it, as that pass over the head of the intended target.
They're helping out. I think they're helping Queen City out with those calling so many passes. Queen City's got some dangerous people in the secondary, and one interception for a touchdown could, turn this back into a game.
Yep, I agree. 25 passes, 13 runs for Charleston's offense tonight. Queen City similarly 28 passes to 16 runs as Lakeman gives a safe pass over to Benjamin Warner for his second grab of the night, both on this drive. 3rd and 7 for Charleston. Third down has not been kind to the Preds either. They're just 2 for 7.
I know. I mean, this is big for Queen City, but don't try and force it, Charleston. You don't want to give too many opportunities to Queen City.
4:40 left in the third. Corsairs look like they audibled into man coverage look here. Hoagland's going to go in motion. Way outside. Queen City's bringing 7. Man coverage again. This time they get to Lakeman. Sack in the backfield. That one by Darshington, the 4th different player for Queen City, and the 3rd different lineman to come up with a sack, and that stalls the drive.
I mean, he leads the team with 4 sacks, Cam, and that's something that could pump some life into this Queen City team. They've got an opportunity here to get the ball back. Plenty of time on the clock. They can make it happen.
I think Queen City's goal the next 14 minutes is to find out how to stay out of third down. Charleston's defense has been locked down in those moments as that ball nearly got some wicked backspin to stay out of the end zone, but it does land on the Orca in the red paint. So Queen City's going to get the ball at the 20, 3:51 to go. The 2024 SFL convention is headed to South Shore Harbor Resort in League City, Texas, just south of Houston, July 12th through the 14th, featuring live games, flag football, a golf tournament, tailgate, pool party, and more. For all the convention details, visit simulationfl.net/news/convention to reserve your room. See the event schedule and more. Price down the field. How is that not PI? Was that uncatchable, maybe?
No. I don't know if the wide receiver fell down, but it certainly looked like the defender had a little bit of assistance in that one.
Maybe the refs ruled their feet got tangled up and it was incidental.
I think they were talking about Curtis's haircut. Got distracted for that brief second.
Second
ball, fellas.
Second and 10 of the 20. Eric Price fires into traffic. As Boudet. Listen, Charles, if Mark Martin is on that side of the field, I'm not even going over there.
Right.
I mean, he's playing out of his mind right now.
You don't want to give him an opportunity because it's only a matter of time. I mean, both of those interceptions, I thought he was taken to the house.
Can Queen City get something comfortable here? Price down the middle, caught by Ellis. First down to the 33-yard line, and finally, Queen City converts a third down. They needed that desperately.
I mean, I really like what I see in Ellis tonight. I mean, again, I'm going back to 5'11". He's playing like a beast out there. He catches everything thrown his way.
So 3:25 now to go in the third. Corsairs dodge a bullet. They're up to 210 yards of offense. They are still outgaining Charleston, yet they're down by 12. Price's pass is caught.
You've got to be kidding me.
He has been money on this almost this go route down the sideline to Matthew Jr. in between 2 defenders. It's wild.
The accuracy there is just phenomenal. I mean, Thomas had a beeline for Price. He just stood in there and just delivered one of the most accurate passes tonight.
But we've seen that play picked off a couple times too, because it's almost like Eric Price is so familiar with it, he thinks it's unstoppable, and it has not at times tonight. Price has all day to throw. Ellis gets away from a defender. One man to beat, and Blotner saves the touchdown at the 20-yard line, but Adrian Ellis able to escape and pick up the first down and more.
I mean, he's over 100 yards in receiving tonight, and he's doing everything he can to put this offense on his back and lead him to the promised land and get a W on the books. But, man, he's catching everything thrown his way, and that yardage after catch is very impressive.
I thought there for a minute no one was going to catch him. Jacob Clear dominating in our stats truck, perfectly accurate, 108 yards now on 7 grabs for Ellis. Price to throw again. Matthew Jr. picks up half.
I mean, that right there, I think, is money. You just having Matthew Jr. on those short routes. He catches everything. I mean, use that and runs for first and second down. I think you'll be doing okay.
This is Ellis's first 100-yard game since the season opener against Baltimore, where he went off for 149 yards. They have needed him tonight. 2nd down and 5, first run of the drive, and it goes for a loss as 0 is dropped. Another 3rd down upcoming.
Yeah, I don't know who did that, but we had another Superman sighting. Somebody flying over the offensive line. Didn't hit anybody, but it sure looked impressive.
3rd and 6 for Queen City. Their 12th 3rd down of the game. We haven't even gotten into the 4th quarter. Matthew Jr. in motion. He's got 9 grabs. Price to throw. Tipped and almost caught by Ellis. He couldn't get over there in time. And Charleston's defense comes up with another red zone stop.
A good stop. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think you can scratch your head on the route running. I mean, the route called, but they can walk away with 3 points. So not so bad. They're closing the margin here.
It has been a busy night for Joe Garfield. This doesn't make it a 2-score game, but it does get Queen City a little bit closer. That kick is good, and we are at 21-12 in another peculiar game in Week 11. We've seen some strange stuff.
I mean, they're hanging in there, Cam. Queen City is hanging in there. I mean, we've given a lot of props to Charleston, but they're 2 scores, plenty of time left. Queen City's hanging in.
Well, I mean, they've outgained Charleston by nearly 100 yards. It's crazy.
I mean, they were on fire on the first part of that possession. They kind of sputtered out as they got close to the end zone, but man, I thought they were going to walk away with 7.
Adobe returns it up to the 28-yard line for Charleston. 260 for Queen City to 166 for the Preds in total yardage. Preds protect the lead. We mentioned it at the top of the broadcast. Just 11 interceptions for Queen City this season. That is 20th in the SFL, or 6th worst. As Lakeman's pass is incomplete to set up a 2nd down and 10. And I mean, if they're going to keep throwing incompletions, they're going to really keep Queen City in this thing.
I know. I mean, and it's not like Queen City is showing them anything new. They're sending the entire, circus rushing in at the quarterback. They got to, make some changes on the routes that they're calling.
Warner goes in motion. Of course, there's still a lot of game left. You can't just stop throwing it, but some risky passes from Lakeman, who still does not have an interception tonight. He has kept the clean sheet as that pass is incomplete. Reed had it, but an even better play made by Justin Reside, his 3rd pass deflection of the night. That leads the team, and it's quickly 3rd and 10.
I mean, you can't begrudge Charleston on that route. That was a great route. Good throw. It's just Reside was just all over coverage.
Coach Clear trying to cheer his team on from the sideline. Preds just 2 for 8 on 3rd down. Lakeman to throw. This time Queen City only brings 4, and that pass is incomplete. Queen City makes an adjustment. I think Lakeman was probably anticipating some more pressure. Wallace with the deflection. That drive took a grand total of 11 seconds off the clock, and Queen City's going to get the ball back.
Yep, Queen City, time to cap. I mean, we talked about capitalization here for Queen City. They've got a perfect opportunity here to threaten and cut the score down to possibly 1.
Our catch called for at the 30, and Eric Price, who's thrown 35 times, Charles, is going to take over.
It's crazy.
There's a reason why he leads the league in pass attempts.
You know, I haven't seen, I think now's the time we can have a Tony Zoma sighting as well. I'm a big fan of that too.
Price has now thrown 35 or more passes, as that pass is caught by 0 in 5 of the last 6 games. As that's dropped for a loss of 1. Matt Ryan on the tackle.
Yeah, I mean, they second 11. I mean, they've got to just make up some ground here. I don't think they need to go for everything.
Second and 11. Price to throw. Price is sacked from behind. First sack of the night for Charleston. Anthony Robertson, his first sack of the season.
Wow. And that came at a great time. You got to slow down the momentum of Queen City, and Anthony Robertson just did that.
That is just terrible work by the offensive line. That was just a three-man rush. Can't let that happen. Third and 15. Bunch look. We've seen a lot tonight on third down. Price had to get rid of it. He had pressure coming off of his right side, and it's deflected at the line. Charleston's defensive line wins that battle. Queen City will have to punt it away.
Yeah, they ran a pinch stunt there, and Dan Dash just played it perfectly off that tackle, had a step on him, and had a beeline to the quarterback and totally disrupted that play.
Ron Haynes has Khalil Thomas with the pass deflection. It's the 11th of the night for Charleston. And that momentum killed a little bit there for Queen City. That ends the third quarter of play. Queen City's got work to do, but they've got 10 minutes left to do it. In a playoff atmosphere in Charleston, one of these teams is going to get back to playoff relevancy. Who's it going to be? 10 minutes to find out. Curtis, read us our rights.
The Simulation Football League is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or account of the game without the express written consent of the league office is prohibited.
Curtis, read us our rights. That's awesome.
Start of the fourth quarter.
I was getting arrested.
You have the right to enjoy football. Lakeman's pass incomplete. Second down and 10. You have the right to judge Charleston's play calling.
That's right. Exactly. I was just going to say that. I mean, come on. You got to run it. Run it, man.
It's a bit frustrating. Hoagland averaging 5 yards a carry. 45 yards on 9 touches. I don't think Charleston's run the ball this second half.
I don't recall them running it, sir.
That pass is
I had my
caught.
right to me, so I'm
Reed picks up 5. Of course, it's the internet, so we forget things. Charleston has run the ball 4 times in the second half.
Well, I'm old, Cam. What's your excuse?
I don't have one, I guess. I'm a glutton for punishment. That's my excuse. 3rd and 5. Reed's going to go in motion. 9:20 and counting. Play fake, fooled Queen City. Lakeman's pass is caught. Davius Reed to the 30. The play action works. What a time to dial it up. 1st and 10, Charleston.
Holy smokes, that was a huge catch. Oh my gosh. In coverage, just was able to rip that down. Oh my, I mean, Charleston needed that to grab control of the momentum here.
And they flip the field and keep the clock moving with 9 minutes and counting. Queen City has just been unable to come up with any interceptions out of this secondary. 9 deflections, but no picks. Toss out to Hoagland. He's got fresh legs, and Nick Hoagland picks up 6 yards.
There you go. That's what you need to do. That does wonders. 6 yards does wonders. Makes it 2nd and 4, but also the clock ticks.
A strong night for Hoagland, 73 all-purpose yards. Davius Reed now leads the team with 77. Handoff Storm. And Storm's going to be wrapped up short of the first down, but it'll set up a 3rd and 1.
You don't need to go 3 miles on this play, Cam. 3rd and 1. You got to pull out either a short route pass or run up the middle.
.8:05 left. Queen City's hopes for this season, which started so bright at 3-2, slipping away. Flip out. Hoagland got it. First down to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, I hate to say it, but that was pretty much all Hoagland. I mean, the defense had that edge set, but he was just able to power through and get that extra yard for the first down.
.732 left. Lakeman fire. Whoa, where's that going?
Wow.
I don't. Warner and Reed went in for a bro hug or something. I mean,
that was like a square dance going on there on the sideline.
They collided. That was total miscommunication. That could have been scary. Second down. Charleston's been money in the red zone. Lakeman dumps it short, picks up 3.
It's okay. I mean, got to get a couple yards. You're making it easier for the kicker if you have to. If you don't see it, just get something.
Charleston 25 times in the red zone coming into this week, 14 touchdowns. And they've scored red zone touchdowns in 7 straight games. Lakeman's pass is incomplete.
Wow.
Looking for Adobe. Knocked away by Wyo and Marshall. So Queen City holds to a field goal. These 2 teams now trading field goals. I mean, it's as simple as math. Queen City just needs touchdowns. They got to get it on this next drive.
Definitely. I mean, every possession needs to be perfect.
And Wyo really the dominant force on that defensive stop. Marshall may have gotten in the way. 7 minutes left, 31-yard field goal, first of the night for the legend Brad Bretchett, who's 14 for 14 on the season. This is a chipper from 31 yards out. Bit of a low snap, but that kick is on its way and good. 24-12. Charleston back up by 12.
I think the big thing here is they walked away with 3 points and they ate up 3 minutes on the clock.
Yeah, I would agree. You like scoregami, Charles?
Scoregami. Well, I'm not sure because I don't know what that is.
Scoregami is the it's all the unique scores of games in history. So for example,
okay.
So you were staring at Curtis's haircut too long at halftime. You weren't listening to his words. But the 6-0.
I mean, it's haunting.
The the 6-0 score.
I heard that.
The 6-0, was the first 6-0 score in league history. Unfortunately, we have had a 24-12 score in SFL history, but it is still a pretty bizarre score line.
It is.
We've seen a lot of scoregamis this
Told
week.
you it could be a weird game.
Jet Zero picks up 4. We've actually had 4 games in SFL history that have ended 24-12. Do you know what those were, Charles?
Oh, come on now. Really? You think I'm going to know that one? I don't know what I ate for breakfast.
I had to. I knew I was going to get a nice reaction.
I think you know, Cam. Enlighten us, please.
William, it's very irrelevant. I just wanted to see if you knew. 3rd and 5.
Has there ever been a game that went into overtime 0-0?
I don't believe so, but I do not have it in front of me. Do you know?
Oh, come on, Cam.
You set it up. I thought you had some inside information. Eric Price drops to throw on third down. That pass is incomplete, and this drive didn't even have a chance. Off the punt, play defense.
So, Cam, I saw a video of you in your early years where you were in a car, and I think you were with some other SFLers, and they were throwing, like, stat questions at you, and you were reeling them off. When you go on, like, a vacation with your wife on the road, does she have to do that for you? Like, read cards to you, and you have to...
To keep my mind sharp?
Yeah, right.
Obviously, it's not working, Mike.
Let's play Scorigami.
Oh, my. We're off the rails. Well, Charleston has a chance to really put this one to bed. They played a pretty good second half. Queen City's offense just has not been able to get consistent tonight.
A long, sustained drive, Cam will do it.
Ball on the 33. They'll hand it off to Storm. Storm's got some good blocking and gets 6 on the play, wrapped up by Kappa Jones.
Big run. That's what you want. Control of this game and the clock.
John Marine in the chat. I'm not even good at origami. I couldn't even fold a paper in half without it being crooked, let alone origami. Do not have good mechanical skills. Hand off Hoagland. And
it might be worse than you can.
More. Oh, really? You can't
I
fold
tried
a paper in half
my early
either?
years, but then I just realized that it was a weakness. And moved on.
Folding paper was a weakness?
No, it was a little more complex than that. Things I thought I could do that I just failed miserably at.
Third down 2. And they
There
keep
you
the
go.
drive going. What
That's
a draw.
Smart play right there.
Saren Storm, first down. Especially, we're seeing play actions. We're seeing draws. Now we're starting to see the complexity again of Charleston's offense. And, Queen City's chasing their tail right now.
Yeah, that's a smart. We talked about adjustments going into halftime. And I think that's a big one. I didn't see that draw play in the first half.
Under 5 to go. Looks like Charleston's on their way to 5-5 as Hoagland's got a lot of space. Gets nearly 10 on the play. That game against Atlanta in a couple weeks, we have Atlanta next. That is our Monday Night Spectacular game next week, flexed in. It's a huge game. Atlanta's been in a bit of a slump. They are 5-5. They are at Houston, 5-4, coming off a bye. That game is going to be spicy, and then Charleston gets Atlanta on a short week 4 days later. Bleeding clock here as Storm is actually not going to pick up the first down, going to lose 2. Dropped in the backfield.
Yeah, up until that play, Cam, I was going to say that the Charleston offense is just really dominated with that running game here on the drive.
Yeah, Luke Swift on that stop. Here's a crazy stat for you, Charles. Queen City still has more yards of offense. And it doesn't feel like it, right? It feels like Charleston has had the better offensive night. It's just wild. Just too many missed opportunities. Down in scoring position, handoff to Hoagland, and I don't think he got it. Nick Hoagland is stuffed. First by Luke Swift, then Justin Reside there on the tackle. And if I was Charleston, I would just pin him deep here, right? Their offense hasn't been able to move it much.
Oh yeah, definitely. Just pin him deep, but still, we've got Charleston. I've said it a couple times. Charleston needs to be, not Charleston. Queen City needs to be perfect. Score quick and get the ball and get the onside kick and give them there.
They need another one of those Ellis breakaways. Fair catch called for at the 16-yard line. 18-yard line rather. Here's a crazy stat. James Matthew Jr. and Adrian Ellis have 16 of Eric Price's 17 completions tonight. And the only other player to catch a pass was Jet Zero for -1 yards. All other players have a combined 3 targets. That's just crazy. They have just not been able to get anybody else involved tonight. .306 to go. Now would be the time for Queen City. They're about to enter into some no-huddle offense, and here we go. Some diversity as Boudet makes the catch for 6 yards.
I mean, yeah, that's one of those routes we were looking for in the first half.
Price's pass caught by
there
Matthew
you
Jr.
go.
down to the 41-yard line. And this is the thing, Charles. They're going into a different offense here with under 5 minutes to go, and so we're going to get to see something a little bit different out of this team. As that pass is caught, it's ruled a fumble. I think that's going to be challenged by Queen City and overturned.
I don't know if he had even got a step on that one. I could be wrong.
No. That is definitely going to be returned. Give credit to Jacob Clear for knocking that football out, but Queen City's all over this one.
Definitely.
Let's take a retroactive look at the play presented by Retroid. Get your SFL console, go Retroid.com. Our third challenge of the evening. I don't even think he got his feet down.
Yeah, that was a good hit though by Clear.
So Queen City's drive will continue. This is sort of it's an interesting development here, Charles, because Queen City, I mean, they are in the midst of showing us some new offense here. A touchdown makes it a one-score game. They still have all 3 timeouts, despite all the problems that they've had offensively tonight. Boy, if they could put it together, you just never know. Second and 10. They hand it off to 0.
Yeah, that's interesting.
That is bonkers. Third down and
I don't
9.
know what plays they've gotten this set, so
They go quickly. Price, one-on-one coverage, and it's incomplete to Wood. I don't know if they thought they were going to catch Charleston off guard or what, but now it's 4th down.
yeah, I mean, at this point of the game, you know, you gotta play like you're going for it on 4th, and you don't necessarily need to eat it all up on that 3rd down.
This could be it, but still all 3 timeouts and the 2-minute warning for Queen City's defense. On their own 42-yard line, 4th down and 9. Corsairs got to make it happen. Price down the field, picked off. Oh, it's taken away by Sam Blotner. Blotner returns it up the Queen City 35-yard line as the safety drops into the box and makes the play.
Wow! Just add another interception to his book. I think that's his 5th for the season now. He was 7th in the league. I don't know if that moves him up, but man, that's perfect time to shut down that drive for Queen City.
Now Charleston back on offense again, still 50 less yards than the Corsairs tonight. But about to put this game away. Queen City has one last stop in the tank, perhaps, as Charleston will hand it off to Hoagland, and he will scoop 5 more yards up to for his resume.
Yep, we're looking at 2 minutes left. Not a lot of time for Queen City. I mean, there is we're kind of like at the getting close to miracle level here for Queen City. I mean, they do have a shot, but it would be like the most unbelievable game we've seen.
2-minute warning. Charleston's up by 12. You're watching the Week 11 Monday Night Spectacular right here on YouTube, presented by APM Music. Rochelle Colston, Ron Haynes, Jacob Clear, Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk, Charles Doherty, yours truly here for you tonight to cap off Week 11. Handoff Hoagland. Breaks a tackle.
Wow.
Churns ahead for a first down. And Queen City starts the ritual of burning timeouts. The other games coming up next week. We talked about Friday's slate earlier. We've talked about Monday. On Saturday, Charles, Arizona goes to Minnesota. That's a big game in the Central. Of course, a rematch of last season's playoff wildcard game. Denver heads to Mexico City. Louisiana at Fort Worth. Florida at Jacksonville. That comes your way Saturday, March 30th. Hoagland, more space to run through. Gets to 2nd down and 4. And Charles, I think the ideal situation for Charleston is to get this to 3rd down and then power through for the 1st down, take some knees, and go home.
Definitely. And their running game, this part of the second half has been hard to stop by by Queen City.
74 yards on the ground for Nick Hoagland tonight. Hand off Hoagland again, and that's actually going to hurt his cause. Send him backwards. 3rd and 6 coming up. Hoagland not going to get to that 79 yards, his season high, unless he can break one off here.
Unless they run it here on 3rd.
Yep. Could be Storm in the backfield. 3rd down. Queen City's last shot. Handed off to Hoagland. And Hoagland's going to pick up 5. But they're not going to be able to run the clock out unless they go for it on 4th and 1. I think Bretchett's going to kick.
Interesting. That's interesting. I mean, you do pin them deep if you don't get 1st down, but I think I would go for the 3.
And 27-12 is not a scoregami either, just so everybody's aware.
Oh, man.
That's also happened 4 times. You know when the last time that happened was, Charles?
Yes, I do, but I don't want to appear too cocky.
Bretchett's kick is good. 27-12. Ever so dangerous to that overhitting. Looks like the under's going to hit 39 now in this one.
Drifted. That's amazing how the kickers can do that. The ball looks like it's going left. Just at the last second, it starts drifting into the middle.
Well, you play golf, Charles. You know all about that.
Oh, I know what not to do in golf. I'm really good at that.
From the 2, it's still technically a 2-score game, as Ellis will get it up to the 27-yard line. Boy, would that be something with 1:02 to go.
Yep. We need a quick strike, and then, we need a good roll of the dice on the onside kick.
.102 left. Price has 217 passing yards, but 4 costly interceptions. And John Lakeman, no picks tonight. There's a big difference in this game. John Lakeman's first game with no turnovers since February 3rd, when he threw no picks against Motor City, as Price's pass is caught over the middle. The last time that Lakeman threw no picks and threw a touchdown was back on October 27th against the DC Dragons, as Price spikes it.
I think that Charleston wants us to do more of their games, because I don't know if they've ever lost when you and I did them.
Yeah, well, they're 2-0 and in dominant fashion on Monday Night Spectaculars. They beat Carolina about a month ago. Last time John Lakeman had at least 2 touchdowns with no picks was back on September 16th. So it's been a minute. One of the Lakeman's better games in the 4K23 era. That pass is caught by Boudet, but Queen City's going to have to go. 45th pass.
Go quick.
Down to 37 seconds left.
I fear there's not enough time on the clock for a miracle.
Well, that's kind of what makes it a miracle, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you and I have done some crazy games, sir.
We have done some crazy games. This would be up there.
Yep.
Especially with how well Charleston's defense has been playing. Price throws. Oh my! Off the grass. Picked off by Stamango. That ends that.
Wow. That was a heck of a catch.
Boy, he did just get his mitts under that.
Man.
This game, Charles, was 9-7 at the half. Charleston outscores Queen City 20-3 in the second half. Who's your player of the game?
Knew you were going to ask that. I mean, right off the top of my head, I would probably say Martin, the cornerback.
Yeah, good.
Two
pick.
interceptions, kept points off the board for from Queen City.
Yeah, I think that's a good call. You know, Davius Reed had that huge touchdown that sparked Charleston's offense, but yeah, Mark Martin was the catalyst in the second half, and it really was the difference.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, that was a big. We talked about adjustments, Cam, going into the second half, and Charleston just knew exactly what to do as far as adjustments and capitalized.
The clock ticks away on Queen City's resurgence. They fall to 3-7. It's their fifth straight loss. Charleston surges back up into playoff conversation at 5-5. They're going to join a six-way tie for 11th heading into Week 12. There are your final numbers. We'll get to our player of the game's final numbers as well. Mark Martin, who finishes with 2 picks, a pass deflection, 5 total tackles. He was all over the field tonight. Good stuff from Martin. We'll send it over to Tyler Falk and Chris Curtis for their final thoughts on tonight's MNS to close out Week 11. For Charles Doherty, I'm Cameron Irvine, Jacob Clear, Rochelle Colston, Ron Haynes. Thank you in the stats truck. Let's send it over to our studios to close out our evening.
And all right, that is that. Charleston walks away with the win and a spot in the crowded selection of teams at the 5-5 mark. Chris Curtis, Tyler Falk with you at APM postgame. And Tyler, if my math serves correct, that actually puts them ahead of Carolina because of a head-to-head win earlier in the season, and that would push Carolina to the 12th spot in the seedings. I gotta verify that, but that's where my brain's at right now. You muted, sir.
Well, yes, thank you. It is after dark, so anywho, along those same lines, that also pushes out Alamo City, another game that I wanted to get to because Tulsa came away with the win, and Alamo City, which for so long had looked like a team, especially last season, that was going to compete with Fort Worth. Now they're mired in 5-5, 500 mediocrity at this point. This has gotten really tasty, and Charleston have come alive at the right possible time. In a embarrassing start to their season, Charleston, but a much, much better season from Week 6 onwards. And this tonight proves it. Yes, it was a little slow to get going, just like their season, but they come alive. They pick off Eric Price 4 more times in that second half and lead themselves to a victory.
Yeah, a lot of fun to have. Eric Price, he struggled. There's no doubt about that. Mark Martin, had his number all night long to the point where they just had to stop throwing to that side of the field. And really it took away Queen City's chances, Queen City's rhythm on offense. That was a lot of what did Queen City in that second half. They had nothing coming out of the gate. Charleston, 2 touchdowns in 4 minutes? That was a massive statement from them to put them in the conversation. They won the half a lot to 3 in that second half. So that was a big moment for them. Now Queen City, I think, hate to say it, but they're on the ropes, and I think they're probably, minus a miracle, as we've talked about earlier with miracles, they're probably done. But Charleston, right in the thick of things. You gotta love this team. You gotta love this team and what they're about and what they're doing at this time of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Week 6 is the catalyst for both these teams. The last time that Queen City's gotten a win, the first time that Charleston has won this season. It's the polar opposites for both teams, and right now it's all looking Preds.
I like it. So nice. That about wraps up this week for the Monday Night Spectacular. It is about time to get going into the last couple of weeks of the season. Playoff time nearly upon us, but every game has implications for the playoff race. For Charles Doherty, Cameron Irvine, Tyler Falk, our statisticians, and our Ron Haynes with Haynes Vision, I'm Chris Curtis saying goodbye and good night from SFL HQ. We'll see you in just a few days. Have a good one.